they are on treatment. They are encouraged to continue or to do exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months and then continue actually up to even 12 months.
Maybe just to add, I know you asked about can they breastfeed, because I'm sure you've learned that the virus can still be passed through breast milk. So what we are saying is the first 6 months, I think there are certain issues that when a woman is counseled at the health center, in terms of, they'll look at issues of the breast conditions, for instance, because those are some of the roots, depending on how the breasts are, whether they have sore nipples and things like that. Does the child have thrush? All those factors are important in the prevention, so they can still successfully breastfeed, even with HIV.
The gentleman?
Thank you. My question goes to both panelists. I'm a bit concerned. You mentioned that stunting affects the intellect of a person, but then I have quite a number of friends who are short. And then my question is, is our intellect affected by the shortness? And, are they stunted, all of them? Thank you.
Unless if you are telling me that your friends who are short, their performance is bad and so forth, then we'll conclude that definitely they were subjected to stunting.
Yes, because actually his question is, are all his friends who are short, are they stunted? But then I think you ask a very valid question. Are all your friends who are short down? Which is not the case, isn't it? Is that what you want to say? Could you just maybe elaborate on that?
When you are stunted, actually when you grow into an adult, your performance is not satisfactory or is not to the full potential that would have been if you were not stunted. So we normally say for every 1% increase in stunting, it has an effect on adulthood in terms of reducing your performance.
Next question, please. The lady across. Thank you.
My question is directed to Mrs. Bessa. I've come across some pregnant women who crave and eat soil. Does that have any nutritional value for both the mother and the unborn child, and does it have any side effects? Thank you.
First and foremost, this is something that is discouraged. So in terms of nutritional value, I'm not sure there's any value added to eating. It's a craving. You know, when women are pregnant, we crave for so many things. So apparently soil seems to be one of the things that keeps coming up as a craving for women, but no value in terms of nutrition. And we don't know what kind of soils you are picking up, and in the process you are probably picking up eggs of worms, and probably this is why we actually do have a program for pregnant women to be dewormed.
Let's get the next question. The gentleman in front here.
Thank you very much. We have heard that mothers who fall pregnant and yet they're still breastfeeding should continue breastfeeding. Do you think that is safe for the child that's breastfeeding? Thank you.
Very safe. It is possible that you fall pregnant and you continue breastfeeding. In fact, when the child is very small, it's actually advisable that you continue breastfeeding until maybe, I'm not sure whether, maybe just for the comfort of the mother, maybe within the last month of delivery. But otherwise, it's very safe. We've heard a lot of myths, but I would like to assure everyone that it is very, very safe. Actually, there's no problem.
Yeah, what is important is actually to ensure that you have adequate food, you have adequate fluids, so that the mother yourself, you are well nourished to support the pregnancy as well as the breastfeeding. Yeah.
I want to find out if there are any foods that mothers can give to their children to prevent stunting.
Well, we don't have special food, but like we have said, after 6 months, the child is ready to start taking in the foods. So all we are saying is it should be a varied diet meaning a balanced diet in another way, a diet that constitutes the protein, the vegetable related, and the energy related. So that combination is very, very important to ensure that the child has adequate nutrition.
Thank you very much. Next question. There's a gentleman here.
Well, thank you. My question is, some mothers believe that children under the age of 6 months who tend to cry a lot are actually as a result of probably inadequate food. How true is that theory?
When a child cries, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not having enough breast milk. Children who are small, their language of communication is mainly crying. They are hot, they will cry. Their nappies are wet, they will cry. So it doesn't automatically mean because the child keeps crying, then they are not having adequate nutrition breast milk. The important thing I want to say to determine whether the child is not growing well or not is when you take the child to the under 5 clinic every month. We have a children's card. Within there, it should be able to determine the growth curve of the child. If the growth curve keeps going up, it means the child is growing well. So why do you want to rush and make conclusions that the milk is not enough? There are so many reasons. That's a language of communication mainly for the child.
What are some of the cultural barriers that you face as you deal with this problem of stunting?
Well, one of the barriers that probably of late have come to notice is that you find that some mothers, when we are doing, for example, some surveys here and there, they don't want their children to be, measured wow line, because they think as if you are measuring the coffin. So they tend to be, somehow uncomfortable over that. But normally, this is why, what we do is when we are doing this kind of thing, we normally do what we call a consent. We advise and we counsel and explain the importance. And usually for the newborn babies, we don't even take the measurements because it's difficult. Normally, we start looking at the measures of where we look at height and the age. Normally we start after 6 months, not immediately when the baby is born. What we weigh mainly is we take the weight to know whether the baby is underweight or is low birth weight, because again, if the baby is low birth weight, then there's potential that the child can become stunted.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mbanga and Mrs. Besa, for making an appearance on Your Health Matters Let's Talk. And audience, thank you so much for your questions. We really appreciate and value your contributions, so we'd love you to get in touch with us. Get to the Facebook page of the Ministry of Health. That's www.facebook.com/MOH Zambia. Until next month at the same time, this is Your Health Matters. Let's talk.
Your health matters. Whether you're a student or a mother, a lawyer or a banker, your health matters.
This program is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the United States Agency for International Development and its Communication Support for Health project.